This is the Artist Entrepreneur Podcast. We are your hosts, Amanda Ritchie, Noah Dock, and me, Kerry Wee. We're three artists brought together by the love of circus and dance. Amanda from the world of Cirque du Soleil as an aerial soloist. Noah, our academic, and me from the commercial dance world. This is one of the greatest jobs in the world, but it comes with uncertainty. Each episode contains insight on how to pursue art-based businesses. We'll have a variety of guests and have lively weekly Discord. Tune in every week to hear our perspectives on the minefield that is the artist's way of life. We should really dig into the talking crap about Amanda on this one.
I know. Well, I realized last week we didn't actually give a code phrase.
Okay, I was thinking about this in the car. You want to hear my suggestion?
Yeah, go for it.
So I listened to the Dave Chang podcast. He's a celebrity chef. I don't know if you know who Dave Chang is. I know. And they were working on this British recipe called Devils on Horseback.
Uh-huh.
That's what I came up with because it's kind of unique. The Devils on
Horseback?
Yeah.
I like it. I'm into it. I don't know how she would ever arrive at saying
no,
it, so.
She wouldn't. She would never arrive at that.
I want to see myself.
Okay. And listeners, if you'd like to know what that is, apparently it's a bacon wrapped date. And it's like a appetizer.
Yeah. I did know what Devils on Horseback was.
You know
You just took gymnastics?
Yeah, she just took gymnastics class.
Nice.
Is that like a common thing to know? Because I had never heard about that.
Probably not, but
you know,
alas, here we are.
Here we are. No one knows things about a lot of things. And
I drink and I know things.
You drink and you know things. Okay, so listeners, for the second week in a row, actually, from our perspectives, third week in a row, because there was a week that we took off because neither of them were available. It was Memorial Day weekend. Amanda is again MIA, and I think that we've passed the threshold where we just completely no holds barred talk crap about Amanda because she is neglecting us.
Yeah, I just want to remind, Amanda for when she doesn't listen to this episode because she will not have gotten our code words or code phrase.
Yeah.
That, I got a text from Amanda and Kerry saying, hey, we want you to be on this podcast with us. You don't have a choice, so do it. And now Amanda's not here.
I do have to say, to her defense, Amanda, I'm defending you, by the way, if you're listening, just for a moment, is that when she came, when she was like, so do I always have to be available? And I was like, you know what? There'll be three of us and we can do guests as well. So there's going to be flexibility, and which is why like everybody was cool with it. But yeah, now we're giving you crap, Amanda.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to give her crap because I've definitely missed way more of these and been late to way more of these. And
then she has. No, I think you guys are kind of 50-50 at this point.
Really?
I think so, yeah. I think so. And then you're going to be out of town a bit this summer. Oh, okay. You're going to be out of town a bit this summer. So producer Kerry's going to make sure that the listeners don't have any interruption. But yeah, you guys are, you guys have, that was the deal. I don't forget that part.
That's true. That's true. We did okay.
But still, I'm, okay.
We miss her. That's really what this is about.
That's really what this is.
This is what our bitching is about. It's that we miss her.
Oh my God. I talked to one of my students who left LA too. She lives in Austin now, but she just returned back to LA to see friends and stuff. Uh-huh. And she got the news through that friend. So Emily got the news through Chia that Amanda, the words were also abandoned them.
That's so funny.
Like also, and the word abandoned. Yes. We have abandoned people straight up. But most of the students that are going to be at my sweet retreats are from the Womack and Bowman crowd. We're going to have a really good time.
Nice.
Want to know the most about your event? your cocktail event?
You know what's so funny? I have things that like I want to
Talk about it was like you forgot about your cocktail event.
not even not even like things that I want to talk about, but like little like to mention and say. And one of them is actually a shameless plug for you.
Why? What happened?
Jessica J.
Yeah.
In Lexington, Kentucky.
How do you know Jessica?
I don't know Jessica, but I know my friend Mary Rollins, who goes to that studio. Apparently, like, they were talking and they were like, I was just on this podcast, The Expecting Aerialist, and my friend Mary Rollins was like, with Kerry? And she was like, yeah, how do you know Kerry? I was like, I don't.
Oh my God, it's working.
She was like, I don't really, but my friend Noah is on her other podcast with her. It was very funny.
And then the next part was, how many podcasts does one person need?
Right? No, it was very funny. We were chatting today, and she told me that. I was like, oh, I have to tell Kerry on our podcast.
Wait, okay, so your friend lives in Lexington, Kentucky as well?
Yeah.
And how do you know her?
We went to college together.
You guys went to college together. Okay, so Jessica J is a expecting aerialist. She's like in the middle of her pregnancy. She's going to have a baby soon, and she owns a studio there.
Yeah, I know. That's what my friend told me.
Yeah, so...
hey, you guys, who's Jessica?
Okay, listen. So much attitude. Okay, here's my story about Kentucky. Are you ready for it?
Hit
Oh my
me.
God, we're so random on this podcast. So back when I was in high school, and I was never at the level that I was competing, my friend Kelly, actually, who's the co-host on my third podcast, Greener Grass, she was like the it girl at my studio for dance. Like, she was actually quite talented at 16 years old. Even me looking back now, like, she was amazing. And I went to go see her at, we competed at, what is it called? Dance Masters of Ohio, which is the dance competition circuit. It's kind of old school, not at all like West Coast Explosion, all the ones that are happening now. Monsters of Hip Hop, nothing like that. Like, so old school. Basically, all of the dancers in Kentucky would cross the border to compete for Dance Masters of Ohio, and they would win everything. They were like, they would take all the bounty because, like, so we were hating on them because we're like, stay in your own state. Kentucky dancers.
I'll have to ask my friend Mary Rollins if she knows about the Kentucky Ohio takeover of dance.
So I mean, this is back in the 80s and 90s, but like, I told that story to Jessica J because I just interviewed her. Like, the sound waves are buzzing right now, apparently, in our ears. So I told her, and she's like, yeah, dance and gymnastics is such a big deal here. So I'm not surprised that you were hating on Kentucky. And I was like, yeah, those white little girls need to go. Because they were all white. Mind you, the white girls were also from Ohio.
I was going to say.
And I'm the only Asian. It's a little Asian girl who wasn't quite that good yet. But I got better, obviously. Anyways, I was telling Jessica that I wanted to come to Kentucky to teach at a workshop at her studio at some time. So at some point, I'm going to go to Kentucky.
That's what I was saying to my friend Mary Rollins. And it's a great studio. I'm 90% sure I took a class there when I was there, unless the studio changed for some reason, but I don't think it did. And yeah, I thought she told me we were literally on the phone like 3 hours ago, and she told me that, and I was like, well, I'm going to see Kerry in 3 hours, so I'll tell her, and it'll be a fun, small world connecting podcast aerial moment.
The aerial world is pretty small. Noah, remind me where you went to college.
I went to Muhlenberg College in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Can you remind me how you ended up there? Because you're born
at
and
Muhlenberg?
raised SoCal, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good story.
Please.
I was basically the last person of my class year to be accepted into the school. And the way the story goes is I had applied to 10 colleges. Muhlenberg was not like one of my top choices. I my one scholastic, achievement in life is that I was accepted to every school that I applied to.
Really?
Yep, despite not having the best grades and being somewhat of a shitty student,
Was it your essays?
I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell. I wish I
How were
knew.
your scores?
I wish I knew. My scores were not. I was average, I think.
SAT scores, average?
I think average.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but Muhlenberg is one that I had applied to, and it was spring break. It was like maybe a week or two before decision day, right? When you have to decide what school you're going to. And I had gotten into my top school. But I was still, I don't know, whatever. And I was going to Israel for a month. I was going to go teach dance there, and then spend my spring break there. And we basically got a phone call from Muhlenberg, and they were like, "Hey, so you didn't really finish your application. Do you want to? Like, do you want to be considered here? Do you want to interview? Like, is that what you want?" And my mother had read about Muhlenberg in an article called 40 Colleges That Changed Lives. And so she was like gung-ho Muhlenberg. She was like, "I think this is the school. I think we should go."
Wait, what was your first choice that you got into?
Well, it sort of changed after I visited.
Oh, okay. Sure. That makes sense.
But originally I had really wanted to go to Sarah Lawrence.
Okay. Yeah. So these were small liberal arts colleges,
Yeah,
right?
small liberal arts. And so basically my mother was like, "I think we should go. I think you should see this school.
Okay.
I think you should interview and do the thing. Because I think this is the school for you." And I was like, "Mom, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I got into all these other schools. Like, I like some of these other schools. Like, I think I'm good." She was like, "No, let's do it." And so on my way to Israel, we stopped out in New York and went to Allentown, and I interviewed. I met Karen Dearborn, who's the head of the dance department there, and who became my mentor and one of my closest friends, and who I actually also just saw this past weekend. She was in LA, and I met her, and I toured the school, and I interviewed, and I loved it. I thought it was great. It was sort of the perfect balance of far enough away from home, close to New York, had all of the East Coasty things that I wanted.
Yeah, and you're SoCal, so you're like, "Get me out of here."
Yeah, I was like, I want brick buildings and a beautiful old campus and things like that. And I loved it. And so I did all those things, and I left, and I kind of was like, yeah, I think that might be the school that I want to go to. And I think I landed in Israel, had a couple days there, and got a phone call, and they were like, "All right, you're in. Do you want to come here?"
Oh.
And I was like, "Sure, let's do it."
Oh my God, this is a good story. I'm glad we landed on this.
Yeah, it was a good one.
So speaking of schools that are too close to home, I am from a college town and applied to the college in my town just as a safety net school, which honestly, it's not a safety net school. It's a great school, Denison University in Granville, Ohio. And I got in, and they offered me some financial aid. And I could see this campus from my bedroom window. From my bedroom window. I was like, I can't do it. Can't do it.
Couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
I get it. I mean, listen, I think that I know people. I'm just dropping name references. My friend Nicolette, she grew up 4 blocks from Muhlenberg. She went to Muhlenberg, and she loved it. I know, California, I feel like all my friends went to CSUN and
UC
schools and Santa Barbara and things like that. None of them went that far away. I remember some of my friends being like, they grew up in the valley and they're like, I'm going so far. I'm going to Chapman. And I was like,
So the
what
OC.
the fuck are you talking about?
It's like an hour and a half away. That's
like,
it.
Yeah, like you could drive down there for dinner. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, so they're at their parents' house for laundry, basically.
Right, exactly. And then there were people like me and some of my friends who were like, deuces, I'm going across the country.
Here.
I'm out of here. And, I will say one of the other schools that I was considering was Bennington College in Vermont.
Vermont.
And it is, it's so small. It's beautiful. But it is, it's Vermont. It's cold as fuck. And really small, very liberal arts school. And I will say, like, one of the draws to it, I was like, it will take 24 hours to get here from Los Angeles. So if my parents are going to come visit me, I will have a huge heads up.
My parents only lived, I went to Oberlin College in, Cleveland area, and I'm from the Columbus area. So it's only 2 hours driving.
Yeah.
But I only saw my parents, spring break, fall break, Christmas, summer. They didn't bother. They're too busy.
I feel like that's the general consensus of people who, go to school within, a 3-hour drive of where they grew up. It's Chapman, I make the joke about, I'm going so far, I'm going to Chapman. But, most of those friends of mine, they didn't see their parents unless it was break and they went home or, whatever.
Our tangents are good, Noah Doc. So I want to tell you about some of my developments, but I really want to hear about these cookie cocktails and and your feedback and what your thoughts were.
It went very well. I feel like I get nervous beforehand. And because the people who are coming are typically people within my circles, they're, my network. And some of my friends are not always the best at making an advanced reservation or plan.
Do they just show up sometimes?
They don't show up, but I send out this, make a reservation 2 weeks or 3 weeks before. And, I'm half full. And then the day before, I'll get, 25 text messages hey, do you have room? And, hours before, hey, do you have any seats?
So you ended up selling it the way you wanted to at the end of the day.
I did. I actually oversold it.
How did you do that? Because you only made enough Fat Wash vodka for the people, right? What'd you do?
I actually made a little bit more.
Oh, did you do the whole process again?
I didn't do the whole process again, but I was able to make more. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it was great. Basically for the first night was just normal sold out, and then the second night I oversold, and I basically set up my dining room as a second room and put people in there, and it worked out really nicely. It was really great because it was kind of like a private table, which was kind of cool. So it's good to know that I can do that in the future. And it was great. I think the cocktails came out pretty well. I actually brought some of my cocktails to the bar that I work at last night to get
for them to taste it, for some of your colleagues to taste it.
Yes, I got some feedback. And my chocolate chip cookie martini, which is the one that was the most painstaking. The head bartender really liked, and he was like, "This is good." I was like, and I felt very good about that.
Nice.
But overall feedback was really great. I think, everybody has their taste, and I was really intrigued by what some people loved and what some people liked less and what some people liked more. I think that there are some pieces of this menu that I will definitely carry over into the future. I think my Mexican wedding cookie recipe was really great, and I'd like to expand on it a little bit more. I think the chocolate chip cookie recipe, despite how much effort and work goes into it, is something that I would like to continue to play with because I think it's very unique and I think it's very special and creative. And yeah, and actually, what me and my roommate have been drinking, I had some leftover of the carbonated cocktail that I made, which was my fortune cookie cocktail. And I feel like the more I drink it, the more I like it. It's super refreshing and delicious, and we've just kind of been drinking it over the last couple days.
Oh, I love it. Do you feel like, did you learn anything business-wise new this time around?
I don't know if I learned anything, but I definitely was faced with a bit of a conundrum for moments where I just like had to stop and ask myself like questions. When I started to get overbooked, one person is fine, two people's a little bit harder, but it almost became to like another like 6, 8 people. It didn't end up that way, but it almost did. And there was a point where I like sort of stopped myself and I was like, okay, at what point does this no longer satisfy the experience? At what point does this not, at what point does this take away? Right? Like,
yes.
What number, like, I mean, if you think about it with aerial classes, like,
class size.
What number of class size stops this from being a quality experience? And I just started to ask myself that question a few times and was very okay with like, okay, this is it. Like, this is the number. We're done. No more after this. This is where we'll stop.
And that must be hard because a lot of times it's not like you can be like, okay, stopping at a total of 15, but let's just say those people that want to come in have a party of 5 and it puts you over 1.
Right.
Or it puts you over 2. Then what do you say to the entire party? It's a good question.
And I think it's also a good question, financially. I think that's, this is a thing that I've invested some time and some money into. I have not come over the financial hill yet of equipment and what I've spent. I'm very close. I'm very close. And I'm very excited to be over that hill. But there's some moments where you're like, oh man, if I can accommodate one more person, I can get a little bit more money and and that's great. But also, you can't forget about the quality of what you're offering. And, if what you're offering is intimacy, small gathering experience, and it becomes less intimate, big gathering party, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I think some people would appreciate the party aspect of it. I think that one element is also just the only one Noah to go around.
Right.
And they want to have that experience with their host.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair statement. So, yeah, but it was great. I think it went really well. I had a lot of fun. I think the cocktails were very cool, and I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next one yet.
Okay, so but you've told me, okay, so C is for cookie, into club, and then there's a third one that you were talking about that I don't remember you actually doing yet. Like an idea? You had in the club, C is for cookie.
I mean,
you White Girl Wasted.
Oh, White Girl Wasted. I feel like I can't do White Girl Wasted yet because I feel like Meet Me in the Club and White Girl Wasted are fairly similar.
Oh, kind of very similar.
I have a diner one that I'd like to do, where every cocktail is like a diner food.
Nice.
So we'll see about that. The one that my roommate wants me to do is called Paw Tales. And it's to have people bring their dogs and do it on the lawn and have it like during the day. And It's like,
Oh.
it's not really like the sit down experience. It's more like hang out outside and enjoy the sun and, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. You guys have space because you're in a house over there, right?
Yeah, and we have a big lawn for the dogs.
How's Red Flags?
Good. I am working on this launch strategy and plan and starting to implement it. So I'm building a new onboarding website for people to.
Are you doing it with the Lovable?
I am doing it with the Lovable.
Okay.
Yes, I'm doing it with the. Are you doing it with the Lovable? Yes, I'm doing it with the Lovable. Yeah, doing it with Lovable. What does my whiteboard say? I'm sitting in my office, so I can actually see what my to-do list is. So that website build is on my list. Dealing with all of my email automations. That is
Oh my God, email automation. I was dealing with that today.
That is such a fun thing.
I had a glitch, and a glitch is terrible.
Ugh, it's awful.
It's awful. If anybody here has built an automated journey with MailChimp or anything like that like hooks into like landing pages and stuff that like brings them down a sales funnel, it's literally mind melting.
Yeah.
When you're putting it together. Okay, so by the way, I have to say, Noah, we really know how to do an update section of our podcast because it's now like the longest ever. I'm gonna tell you my updates unless there's a huge update that I missed with you.
I'm ready.
No? Okay.
I'm ready.
So I was asked to be a part of this aerial summit called Revival. So this woman at Circus Mobility on Instagram, she's doing this whole thing, and it's like I am really impressed with her desire to even do it because basically she asked 30 plus people in our industry that are known online somehow in the aerial world to do a 20-minute pre-recorded presentation, and then there's links and there's affiliate links. I'm an affiliate, and so if somebody buys because of me, then I make a certain percentage. It's a lot. That what we were just talking about, this whole online business umbrella of things.
Yeah.
It's so much work what she's just done. So my presentation just dropped this morning. She asked me to do it on prenatal and postpartum aerial training because I'm the host of this podcast and I've interviewed so many women. So I did that, and she just she has all these emails that are coming to her speakers about what you need to do when. I'm like, oh my God, is her brain just exploding? So my presentation just went out, and then on the chat under my presentation, all these people are like, the link's not working. And I was like,
the worst.
You start to panic slightly because you have leads coming in to your website, and a part of the website isn't working. I fixed it. And the reason why is because about a month and a half ago, the software that I used to do my landing pages, they upped their prices so much because it was however much money a month for unlimited amount of landing pages.
Yeah.
They changed it to 5. And they doubled the cost of it. So I got this huge credit card bill with it, and then I called them, and they're like, if you go under the number of 5, then we can put you back on your old billing. So I got rid of some landing pages, and it, lines got crossed, whatever, and I got rid of one that I shouldn't have gotten rid of, an active one that I needed. So anyways, long story short, I'm on that. The other thing that's happening that I put time into a while ago in March when I went to LA to film it is I'm the guest instructor for Silk Stars this month in June. So I have all of these Silk Stars students filming themselves doing my sequence and tagging me and this is what I'm doing and commenting. So that's cool. And then this house renovation, Noah, we've added another element. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Well, you got to be out of your element to learn new things and figure it out and take the next steps. And oof.
Did I tell you guys that we've come to the conclusion that we need to repaint the interior white?
I don't think I don't think so.
It's this taupe color. And we were going to leave it. And Asa's like, I hate it and I'm going to hate it forever. And I was like, I hate it too, but we weren't going to add that. We were just going to live with it. And he's like, but we should do it before we put furniture in the house. And he's right. He's absolutely right.
You did say this to me because you were like, it's smarter to do it now than you don't want to.
Yeah. So basically we're doing it. So my job this week, I'm going to I don't think I'm going to be the one actually doing the spray painting, but I'm going to start taping. I'm going to start taping everything. So we're adding a project. He's now cutting holes into the ceiling to do our recessed lighting. Floors are almost done upstairs. My bottom cabinets are done. I'm getting ready to do the backsplash starting this weekend. Noah, it has taken over my life. Kind of. And, we talked a lot about real estate the last time. Any developments there on thought process for you?
No, but market is changing.
Yeah. Say more.
I think we're slowly entering a buyer's market, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, here it's been a buyer's market here in San Antonio for a little while. So that's what we bought in. The timing works out. Okay. Last thing. So I told you about that potential political situation.
Oh, yeah.
That I was going to dip my toe in. So the active part of that is that I actually wrote a proposal / ideas / language for website renovations. What's the word? Edit. The learning part of that was me doing it. I don't have feedback yet. He probably has a bunch of people sending him ideas because, his consultant has ideas too.
Yeah.
The consultants that he already has. But what I learned as I was writing it, number one, is that it fired me up. Like I was happy and excited to do it.
Yeah.
Did it quickly. And I felt really confident about what I put on that recommendation. Not to say that he's going to agree with it because it might be a little too left for him, but he is running as a Democrat, even though he's a very moderate person. But you were absolutely right in that you don't know what's going to happen, what you can learn from anything that you try.
Yeah.
I learned that actually I can do this. I felt really confident with my thought process, which actually surprised me a little bit because I don't know if it's like naive confidence because I haven't really been in it, but I guess I know what I think.
Have you ever seen that clip of that guy and he's like, so what do you, I think it's like Stephen Colbert is interviewing him and he's like, so what do you get paid for? And he says like, I get paid for the confidence I have in my taste or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of just doing anything, in my opinion, or like trying something new is just like having the confidence to at least give it a shot.
I mean, I was surprised though, because I never would have guessed that I would have felt that confident about writing like literally a campaign recommendation.
I would have guessed.
For a congressman.
I would have guessed.
You would have guessed?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like not in it, but I absorb so much news and opinion from a lot of different sources. Like some of the podcasts I listen to are quite left.
Yeah.
And some are like smack dab in the right. Some are center right. And, I kind of know what I think. So I guess I joke around with my students that I'm the cockiest teacher I've ever met. So much confidence.
What makes you
it's ridiculous.
I'm the cockiest teacher I've ever met. That's really funny.
Like I like whenever somebody asks me like why this or why is your decision to cross twice here and not once, and I've thought about all these questions so many times that like I would go to town on with anybody who wanted to debate me on that particular rap. Like I've put a lot of thought into it. The only person that really like I think twice about my confidence is Dara, who's now my boss and my colleague, because she has, if out of all the people that have taught beginner sell, 'cause she might have thought about it even equal to a little bit more than me.
Equal to
She's
or
one
more.
of these. She's very cerebral about things. But anyways, so I was surprised by that, but maybe I shouldn't be, because if I'm that cocky of a teacher, then maybe I'm just cocky everywhere. I like to use the word cocky.
I don't think it's a cocky thing. I think it's sort of bringing this full circle. Being an entrepreneur allows you to build skills in things that you don't even know that you have skills in. You know, what we were just talking about with reference to fucking email marketing and creating email automations and things like that. Like, God, it's the worst. It's awful. But like,
yeah.
Once you do it once,
yeah,
and then somebody is like, hey, could you build me a Shopify automation for like when I sell a product? You're like, I've never done that before, but I bet it's similar, or I bet I could figure it out. Yeah. And like, you start to play that game with yourself of like, okay, what do I know how to do? What does that knowledge give me the confidence to do outside of what I know how to do? And for you, like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all, because like part of what you do is first of all, you're constantly intaking information, whether it's podcasts that you're listening to or on. You are creating courses and all, like you do all of this intake of information, and you're writing, and you're working on emails, and you're working on classes and courses, and you're constantly needing to put your thoughts onto paper or onto your computer or whatever, pen to paper. Oh my God, is that phrase going to go out the window soon?
You are doing such dance choreography right now talking. Do you recognize that?
I do.
You guys, I wish one of these days we're going to be in a studio. I don't know, because these guys, they're going to be like, can I do it from IKEA? So I don't know if we're ever going to be in a studio so we can film this. But the hand, because he does the chest and he starts moving his arms around, his shoulders around.
There's a lot of hand gestures. But no, I mean, you do all of these things. And so I think the idea of creating a proposal for someone in the political world that is about sharing your ideas and how they could share their ideas and being able to write that down and all those things, like, those are skills that you have, just applied to a different thing. That's all.
You know, that's the one thing that I have learned, and I'm sure we've talked about you. I mean, you're more jack of all trades than even I. The amount of skill set that we end up accumulating through our work, I do feel like I'm going to be able to be employed at some point and actually like that job. It's just kind of, for me, it's like, I wonder, okay, I think I have the skill sets, but for example, me as a podcast producer, I listen to a lot of freaking podcasts. And let me tell you, sometimes like there's a couple Spotify podcasts that I listen to. Their sound quality is so off half the time. It's like their ad is at this decibel and then the actual interview is way higher or way lower. And I was like, who are your producers? They didn't get fired. The sound on my podcast, it's not perfect, but I'm always tweaking. I'm always listening.
Yeah.
But then when I tried to like pitch myself as a podcast producer, people go online. I'm a dancer. I'm an aerial teacher. They're like, my joke
is that all of these skills make us unemployable.
Fortunately, I mean, I get jobs through people because they know they're listening to my podcast and that is what they're hiring me for. They're hiring me to be a professional podcast producer, and I'm pulling that off for my small amount of clients. But like as a whole, it's like, yeah, it makes me kind of unhireable in a way, unless somebody's just like, oh, I can tell that you know how to. Yeah. You know how to do this particular skill. So that's kind of a challenge, I think. My sister was pitching me to this, politician, and we were talking on the phone last week, and he was like, so you're a dancer? I'm like, yes, but.
Yeah, I mean, I redid my website a couple months ago, and the way that I've built my website is that I've disconnected all of my pages pretty much so that you can't really get from one page to the other.
Oh.
So like they're all noadoc.com, shameless plug. They're all noadoc.com, but they're all noadoc.com / something. And so I share the / somethings specifically for whatever I'm doing. So like I have / mixology / in-house media company / red flags / whatever. And so like I have them all underneath. I mean, there's also a red flags website, but I have them all underneath this one umbrella. And there's one web page that's like, this is everything. But like, if I am trying to apply for something or I'm trying to send somebody something, they're like, you have a dating app? You make cocktail? You're a dancer? You're a photographer? Who the fuck are you? You know, they do that sort of thing. And like, there was a point a few months ago that I was like, this is it isn't helpful. It's not productive. I have to compartmentalize myself to other people.
I know. We had this conversation, right? This is an ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
Which is why I separated just the 3 parts of me that are so similar. Aerialist, Pilates trainer, body worker, and I had to separate them, but they're still all in the same paragraph. Your stuff is like, ski patrol is the farthest thing from like half of the other things that you do. I mean, it's such a big question, you know, like I think about that all the time. I do. I think about that all the time because I'm just like, I think that I could be, maybe I'm not the flavor for this one person, but writing that thing, yeah, I might not be the right person for this person, but I was like, you know what? I actually know things because I take in a lot of information. So I'm like, but if somebody Googles me, there's a lot of me on the internet and it is all my artistic life.
I think that is such a good title for something. There's a lot of me on the internet.
Well, it's my artistic resume. It's me as a writer, but a dance writer, because I was writing for Backstage West for a while as a dance writer. Like, it's one thing to convince myself that I feel like I could take that skill set and point it towards a different field.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an ongoing thing, and how, because a lot of people who are in their own field and they're really good at one thing, some of them have niched down to the point where they're like, they know how to run one piece of software and do one job really well and don't really have a skill set around anything else. I think a lot of America is like that.
Yeah, some people they choose their one path. They want to do the one thing. And listen, I thought I was a one thing person for a long time. I thought I was dance and dance choreography. That's what I thought. And boy, was I wrong. And you inspired me. I just Googled myself.
Oh, really? What happened?
It's mostly things I already know, but I do think it's funny that artist entrepreneur is on the second page of Google. Not the first, but the second.
Wait, well, you expected it to be higher?
Well, I just didn't know where. I didn't even know if I'd see it at all. But I think it's fun.
Because your name. Yeah. I'm actually in the middle of figuring out how to put Artist Entrepreneur on YouTube as a podcast, but there's some little hoops I need to jump through with my RSS feed, which is the feed that the website lives on, that the podcast lives on.
Yeah.
That's a hosting problem. So I'm actually working through that right now because the regular hosting we have doesn't do YouTube. So, but YouTube is the place, you guys. It's the place. Apparently.
When you Google you have pictures. You're like,
well, yeah, of course.
Photos of you right there. I don't have that.
Well, it's because I
do if I click on my name. They're there if I click on my name.
It
There
depends
is.
on how many photos are out there of you in the world. There's a lot of me.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's
Yeah.
a good amount of me too. You know what I kind of like? And this is so ridiculous. But when I Google my name and I hit images, I like that you know how on Google there's like categories of images?
Uh-huh.
I like that 2 of my categories are mountains and snow. The 2 other ones that are good are circus and dance. So I'm glad that those are there too.
I was going to say, does it say brooding and emo?
It does not say brooding or emo. But it does say circus, dance, mountain, and snow. And I'm actually very happy that it says mountain.
It should say talented hair.
Oh, it's all my photography. Look at that.
There you go. I mean, is it like narcissistic that I Google myself on a regular basis to make sure that it's like acceptable?
No, I don't think so. I mean, nowadays, no, I don't think so. I honestly haven't done that in a very long time. So I think college was the last time I did that. So.
Oh my God, listeners, Noah is officially less narcissistic than Kerry. Officially.
You heard it here first, people.
You heard it here. Okay, so Amanda, if you are listening to this, the code word is devils on, what is it?
Devils on horseback.
Devils on horseback. I'd never heard of it. Noah knows things. Would you really do well on Jeopardy?
No, I'd be terrible on Jeopardy.
Okay, so you know things about cooking and chefing then,
I
because
know.
that's a cooking reference.
It's like trivia nights. Terrible. I'm terrible at trivia.
Really?
Terrible at trivia.
Oh.
However, there is always one question that nobody knows the answer to that I
That
know
you know.
immediately. Like always, without fail. Like without fail, one question every single time that everyone's like, I don't know what this is. And I'm like, oh, it's this. And they're like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I don't know.
I'm holding my phone.
Would you like to meet my dog? This is my dog.
Why'd you not tell us that you have a dog?
His name is Lyle.
I say?
You want to fire Amanda?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna fire Amanda. Why, Amanda? Why?
Why, Amanda? Why?
Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find Amanda Ritchie at Grounded in Flight on Instagram and add Noah Doc on Instagram as well as Red Flags app. And me, Kerry Wee, you can find at wrapyourheadaroundsilks.com. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We have so much more coming at you, including guests that are in this art world that are blazing their way through new businesses and, just more banter from us. Thank you for listening. This is The Artist Entrepreneur.